let's talk about Friday the 7th of August 2020, which was yesterday. I am a little bit out of focus right now. Just give me a few seconds. There you go. Well done, Canon. You do take your time, don't you, though? It's not the best camera for focusing. Anyway, so yesterday I went back to my GP to get my blood test results. Thankfully everything seemed fine. I'm still very low on iron levels, so that's going to be something that we need to continue kind of working on. But my vitamin D levels were normal for the first time in years. My doctor was like, wow, sorry, I just got a little, yeah, he was like, wow, your vitamin D levels are actually fine now. You don't need to worry about that anymore. And I think that has a lot to do with the pills that I took. I took a lot of vitamin D tablets, pills, whatever you want to call them, throughout lockdown, especially in the first couple of months of lockdown, thanks to my mum, you know, kind of making sure that because I was at home all the time, she would like bring them to me kind of thing. So yeah, that would have for sure helped. And I'm glad that it did. Like, I can't believe it. It's good. You know, I don't have to worry about that anymore. Obviously, I'm still going to take them just in case, but yeah, that's good. So that was good news. I also found out that my tattoo's not infected. My doctor was very confident that it's not infected. He couldn't see anything in the blood either, and you know, he had a look at it again, and he said, you know, the redness seemed to have gone down a little bit, and he said he doesn't think it's infected at all. So yeah, that was a relief as well. He did still give me a little cream, a prescribed cream to buy for me to put on the tattoo if it ended up getting redder. Like, he was like, just get it if you want to, and the unlikely chance that it does get a little bit red in the next few days or week, whatever, you can just put some on it and it might help, but it's not infected. So that was a very good situation. It was great to see my doctor again. Then I met up with my friend Joe very briefly, who I hadn't seen in about 3.5 years. I think I last saw him, we figured it out, the last time I'd seen him was April of 2017 in Disneyland Paris. We went to Disneyland Paris for the 25th anniversary together, and then yeah, he moved to Norwich, where he is from, and then I just didn't really see him. We'd grown a little bit distance. You know, he's not really like a massively close friend of mine anymore. I don't think he ever really was. He was a really good friend, but like not close enough for me to fully keep in contact with either. You know, when he left, we just didn't really talk much because we never had, you know, I think it was more of a circumstantial friendship. He was in London for a bit, so do you know what I mean, that kind of friendships. But he's a lovely guy, and you know, we went on holiday together a couple of times, so like obviously I care about him, and he has recently moved back to London. So he messaged me, well, he was in my birthday video, which was lovely. It was a nice surprise. I didn't expect to see him there. And then shout out to my friend Arzi for including so many people of my life in it. But yeah, he messaged me saying that he's coming back to London, to live in London again, moving back, and he was like, let's meet up. Do you want to meet up? You know, I'd love to meet up. And I was like, yeah, why not? Not gonna lie, I was a little bit nervous. I think because, it's me being completely honest, because of how I've been feeling mentally in the past 6-7 months, but probably even longer than this in the past, I want to say year or two even, but especially in the past 6 months. And obviously with everything going on in the world and lockdown and stuff, I don't find it as easy communicating or talking or being in the presence of people that I don't consider a very close friend. And like, Joe is a good friend, but he isn't someone who, he's not, I wouldn't consider him a close friend. So honestly, I was very close to cancelling, and I felt bad. I was like, oh, I haven't seen him in so long, it would be nice to see him. And I was so angry at myself because I was like, the Sam from a few years ago would be absolutely fine to like meet up with him, but I was just like so nervous. I was like, I don't know if I have the energy to be there and like be someone that who's like basically it's the case of knowing that I couldn't be fully myself. It's a worry, it's an anxiety that I have for some reason because of whatever's going on in my brain, and I can really only be fully myself, at least when people know me very well, like my close friends. That anxiety goes a bit down. So I think I was a little bit worried about that, but it was absolutely fine. Joe's such a lovely guy. We went to Wagamama's together actually, which was amazing. I didn't expect it. It was like a very last minute decision. We were going to just meet up somewhere, and then I thought we could just go to a park or get like a Starbucks or something and go to a park. But then he said he was really hungry, and the place that we met was near Wagamama's, and I was like, you know what? Should we just go to Wagamama's? Do you fancy it? And he was like, yeah, I'd love to. And he said he had been to a few restaurants since lockdown had ended, so he wasn't completely new to this new life, you know, going back to restaurants and stuff. he didn't seem to be taking everything as seriously as maybe I do, because I live with my mom and stuff. I have to be a lot more careful. And I was like, yeah, you know what, I've not been to the restaurant yet since lockdown ended, but I feel like I can do it, you know. And it was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon that we met, so it wasn't lunch or dinner time really, like it wasn't a busy time. So the Wagamama's that we went to really wasn't busy at all. There were maybe about 4 or 5 groups of people there, and it's got like an outside area, and we sat outside deliberately even though it was really hot, because we both like agreed that it would just be less risky. And it was fine. There was no one around us. There was literally only one like couple very far away from us outside, and maybe 2 people inside the restaurant, and that was it at the time that we went. And I felt absolutely safe, like it was fine. Me and Joe were quite far from each other, like we didn't hug, we didn't do anything like that. I know a lot of people are doing that at the moment. I wish I could, I want to. I miss hugging people, I miss being relaxed when I see my friends, but I think I might wait a bit longer still to do that. So yeah, we kept our distance, we had the food. It was honestly so good. It was a big deal for me to do this, and I'm glad that I did it. I feel like if we'd planned to go to Wagamama's or to a restaurant before, I probably would have been even more anxious and probably would have definitely cancelled. But I think because it was a completely spur of the moment thing, and I was just like, you know what, let's just go. And we went, and like I said, he felt a lot more comfortable because he'd done it a few times already. But yeah, I felt pretty fine as well. And it was a good experience. I feel like that hurdle is done now, and I can feel a bit more relaxed doing it. It's just a weird concept, you know, that there's no way you can be completely safe. You know, if you want to live your life, unfortunately, in these times, you're gonna have to take some little risks. Because I was very worried, because I was like, you know, going to a restaurant again, it means that like I'm gonna have to trust that whoever's washed the cutlery, you know, has been very safe with washing them. You know, maybe was wearing a mask whilst they were washing the plates that I'm gonna be using to eat my food on. Because if they weren't, and they didn't have a mask on, and then maybe they might be carrying the virus without realizing it, without actually showing any symptoms. They might have, like, I don't know, they might have been talking whilst they were washing, and like a tiny bit of spit or a particle might have just gone onto the plate, and it could now have the virus. You know what I mean? Like, it's the fact of the matter is that this could easily happen, but if you want to prevent that, you just have to not do anything, and I don't want to not do anything. So I just decided to trust them. Everyone seemed fine. Like our waiter server seemed lovely and very safe. So it was fine. It was a very good experience. We sat there for about an hour and a half. Nice to catch up with him. It was actually really good because Joe is a very outgoing person, so I just let him speak. Like I just kind of asked him questions. I didn't really want to talk too much about myself. Didn't really feel comfortable. Didn't have the energy, so I just listened to him, and it was like just fun. It was a nice distraction for me to kind of listen to his life a little bit, see what's been going on with him, laugh a little bit about, you know, previous times, and it was a fun day. He also got me some lovely flowers for my birthday, so that was nice. So it was nice. It was great. It was good for me, I think. I'm glad I did it. Both the restaurant and also meeting with someone that I'm not necessarily very close to. I think they were both good steps in the right direction. So that was yesterday, I guess. That was kind of it. My dad went to Dubai, so my first time, obviously, first evening not sleeping with my dad in the house. And his room's not very far from mine, so I normally kind of hear him. Normally he wakes up when I'm about to go to sleep because of my sleeping pattern's messed up, if that makes sense. So yeah, it was a good day though. Just more than anything, I'm happy. I feel like it was a productive day in the sense that I did 3 things happened that were good. My tattoo's not infected. I went to a restaurant for the first time and it felt really safe, and I met up with someone that I'm not very close to, and it wasn't as overwhelming or scary as I thought it would be. So that was yesterday, the 7th of August. I will see you tomorrow.